This conference will now be recorded.
Shannon, roll call, please.
Mayor Roberts.
I am here.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Here.
Commissioner Gandy.
Here.
Commissioner Bowe.
Here.
Commissioner White. Here.
Commissioner Bowe, would you lead us in our invocation?
Please bow your heads. Dear Lord, we meet here today to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. Father, we recognize our responsibilities to the past and future, and the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, we seek blessings on our deliberations and on our efforts here today. May we all act wisely and well. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Yes.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Salute the flag, state of New Mexico, the sea and symbol of perfect friendship among United cultures.
You may be seated. All right. We'll entertain a motion on the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
We have a motion second on this. Any discussion, corrections, additions? Hearing none, Shannon, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe.
Yes.
Commissioner White. Yes. Commissioner Gandy.
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for consideration of minutes July 10th, 2023.
Okay, motion second on the adoption of amendments. Any additions, corrections, comments? Hearing none, Shannon, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Bowe.
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy.
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo.
Yes.
Commissioner White. Yes. Mayor Roberts.
Yes. All right, brings us to our staff and commissioner report. Ms. Shannon, do you have anything this evening?
Mayor and Commissioners, I wanted to bring up the disabled that we had on there last meeting about the disabled veterans getting the 10% discount like the senior citizens do. And so we looked at the ordinance and it says residential customers who are receiving SSD or SSI benefits are eligible for the 10% reduction. So it is in there. They just need to come in and get that if they want. And I believe they have to have proof of benefits, but I'm not sure what the proof, I don't know what they have.
No work letter from the VA.
Yeah. So anyone that wants that.
I know we talked about it in your office, but is that on the entire bill or is it only on the city portion? In other words, water, sewer, does it include trash?
It says reduction to their monthly utility bill.
Okay, so it'd be 10% on the baseline.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, utility bills.
Well,
I really don't know. Are you saying it doesn't include trash?
no, I was asking if it did.
I assume.
By the way you read it, it would be the entire bill, yes. Yeah.
I would think you probably look at the water, sewer, things that the city has control over as opposed to a third party how it's billed.
That's, yes, exactly.
So you're saying it wouldn't include trash?
I think, based on what you read and what I've looked at, I think it would be for water and sewer, but not the trash, because that's a service that's provided to us that we don't have any real control over.
We pass,
Yeah.
well, based on our budget, we basically pass it through.
Right.
I think our total net was 20,000, which doesn't even cover administration and everything else.
Right, yeah, there's not an administrative fee or there's not a markup or anything like that. You
Right.
see on it to pass it through. Yeah.
There was, I guess we need to look at that. Something else in your spare time. Yeah, you have nothing better to do other than chauffeurs today, so. Anything further? I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. Ms. Gaffney, anything to that?
Everything's going great. I will be out from tomorrow through Friday. So if you have anything you need from me, please just email me and I'll get to it on Monday.
Chief?
Yes, I have a few things here to talk about a little bit. First thing, we have completed the install of our new Exxon body cams. An officer has also been issued them. We received 10 new Exxon in-car cameras, waiting for installation on those as well. The new in-car portable radio have been given the green light for us to order. So I got Sergeant Joe Clark in the process of working with those. And we've completed 2 applicant background for hire. We're gonna hire one and the other one's gonna be on standby. And I also will be working on the new law enforcement retention recruiting fund this week. So I'll be trying to get that package together and get it sent out. Over the weekend, I received a call from, an email from Beijing with the district attorney. Office requesting to meet with officers, police chiefs and sheriffs in the Lee County area. And this is in reference to funds to assist with war roundup. As he said, the governor has appropriated $10 million to the DA's office for war roundup, $5 million to the second DA's office, and $5 million to the other 13 DA's office. Date has not been set up for us to meet on this, but when we do get a date to meet on this, I will give it to the city manager and discuss it with him as well.
Can you repeat, it was for what? Warrant roundup, is that what I heard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what? Yeah, exactly. Are we getting ourselves in line or what?
I don't want to get into that point of it, but I just want you guys to be aware of that. This is money that they're putting out there for. I know the municipal court has started to move out of the building, so we'll be happy when that's done. Right now, everything's going okay. Work with the administration to keep everything going.
Do we have signage or something, letting everybody know where that transition's happening? The municipal court?
No, I don't have it.
So are they moving to the?
They move into the old magistrate building.
Okay.
Yeah, they moved in today, but I've asked them as of 3 weeks ago to kind of let the public know we can put something on Facebook, put something in our lobby, just to kind of.
Yeah, we'll have to be going back to the same place, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're officially doing business out
That
there.
happens or what, you know.
Yeah, they just been moving stuff out today, so I don't know. I'm sure they still have.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Bowe.
I have a question. I don't know who this should be directed at. Interim police chief, interim city manager. How are we doing as far as with Operation Cleanup? Are we doing anything with that? Are we
It's
going
on,
forward? Or is it on hold for the time being until we get permanent? Because I know that we've made headway, we've done good. I don't want to stop. I want to keep moving forward on it. I know we were talking about with Zone E, getting businesses fixed up and everything. I don't want to stop on that either. I want to keep moving forward. So,
I agree 100%. It is on a pause because we're waiting $50,000, which has been allocated by the county towards Operation Cleanup. So that'll allow us to start operations again. But code enforcement still continues with their regular duties. But yes, so once we get that 50,000 transferred into the appropriate account, we can start looking for projects again.
as I said, we did good and I want to keep on moving forward.
Thank you.
Okay.
City manager on the court relocation. We probably need to look at our website and I was saying stationery, anything that has to do with them.
Even the officers issuing the tickets.
Yes.
Exactly,
Let's
yeah.
not send them to the wrong corner.
We've got addressed that with the officers, so to go ahead and get started.
Thank you, sir.
So they do our official.
So, yeah, I've been coordinating with Monica how to get the message out there to the public for the least disruption. But they're very happy. It's a lot more space for them. Someone will be in our building.
Anything further?
No, sir. That's it.
All right, thank you, sir, appreciate it. Darcy?
Okay, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, so we have hired one person from our recent testing that we had on the 15th. He is a licensed EMT basic, so that is gonna help us a lot. We have an interview tomorrow with another EMT. She wants EMS only, which we still have 2 positions open for. With this, hopefully by August 14th, we will be going back to our 3 shifts of 48 on, 96 off. Those EMTs are really what we were needing, and with the acquisition of those. And then we had one of our current employees who passed his national registry for his basics. So now that gave us 3 more EMTs just quick, and that's what we need. We have 4 students who will start their intermediate class on August the 14th, and then 4 students who will start their basic on August the 15th. So we've got them in class, it's just getting them licensed. That's we're hoping to get. Zachary Crank, the firefighter who was in the car wreck, he did come back part-time 2 weeks ago. Well, he has received his full release, so he will be returning to shift work on Thursday. I spoke with Code 3 Services, and they will be here either tomorrow or Wednesday to finish the repairs on the emergency warning system. They've got it working now. They've just got to get it hooked up, get it on the right frequency so that we can set it off remotely from the basement. And then they also gave me a quote of approximately $90,000 to get the current system that we have right now upgraded. I talked to the county emergency management, and we're going to set up a meeting to discuss what our system is as far as the emergency warnings and try to get aligned with the Hobbs system so that LCCA will be able to set it up as well. And hopefully they'll be able to help us with this and maybe add some more sirens. We don't know exactly. We've got to have the meeting to see as far as financially how much they'll be able to help. I have not heard back from Jennifer as far as a grant yet, but I know she is working on that. And then we currently have 2 ambulances in the shop out of our 5. We've got one at Permian with the blown turbo, and then we have one that we had to send to SERS in Comanche, Texas, because it's having a problem with the liquid spring system, and that's the ambulance system itself, so that's why it had to go there. We did borrow one from Tatum, so we still have 4 ambulances counting now. Other than that, that's all I have, and I will stand for any questions.
Sure. I was thinking while you were talking that maybe we get LCCA to put in their, but in all of their menu where we could set it off from there.
Well, and that's what we're trying to get is to where LCCA can actually push the button and they can set it off, they can activate it. And if we get the same system, then the gentleman who, Tom Jenkins, who works on all their radios and their system will actually be able to work on ours as well.
Is there a time frame on
I'm waiting on the emergency management to get with me on the date. I told them, you give me a date and I'll be there to have the meeting with them. As far as the system actually being working with what we've got, they're, like I said, they're gonna be here either tomorrow or Wednesday to get it hooked up and what we have actually working. So that will be fixed and we will be able to set it off in the basement. As far as the time frame for, you know, getting it upgraded and all that, it's finding the money. I mean, because just to upgrade what we've got, we're looking at about $90,000.
But our current system, you'll get it.
But our current system, they're hoping to have it done at least by Wednesday, to have it to where we can set it off in the basement.
That's our goal.
Yes, sir.
That will be manual.
And then we will not have to go to each siren set off. We will be able to set off in basement. So just because I just got word today, we need to let the public know if you do hear sirens on Wednesday, it's because they are working on the system.
I don't think there's gonna be any clouds in this.
That's a heat advisory, get in.
Get out of the heat. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Fred. Commissioner Bolt.
All I have to say is thank you for all for coming. And, shop local, buy local, get out there and eat local. Get some good places, good restaurants, have a new place here just opened. So let's give them business and help them out and help ourselves out. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Freeman. Commissioner White. Commissioner Gaines.
So what's the parade route gonna be?
That's a good question.
Starts in the parking lot, behind, goes north to D, turns right with east on D.
Parking lot at night, one in Bob's?
No, that's the high school parking lot.
High school, okay, okay.
Goes north on 9th to D, makes that right turn, eastbound on D. At First Street, it takes a quick little detour up to C and back to Main Street just to get around to construction. And then straight up Main Street to Jefferson like it always ends.
Okay, I figured that's what it was gonna be, but I figured I'd ask the dumb question. Other than that, I'm good. I'll wait and plot where I need to park. There you go.
Mayor Commissioners, the finance department continues to work with our consultants to try to get caught up. I'm trying to get the girls trained with their new roles. And I'm trying to just get afloat. Other than that, nothing.
No questions? No? All right. City manager.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, members of the public, all commissioners should have received an email from me on Friday, which is an update on all outstanding Maddox Foundation funding projects. We had received 4 responses as of today for the finance director position, but one came in late in the afternoon, and that is the most promising by far of all of them, of all 5. And they're in Texas, but I think they're close by in Texas. They have 25 years of accounting experience. So I'm going to follow up with that person tomorrow. Of the other 4, only 2 of them had relevant experience, and they are both local, and I've already reached out to them. I will put together an interview board in the next couple of weeks. As you know, we may want to wait for more applicants, but in any event, I will have an interview board ready. Chip Lowe of the county and Ed Fierro have been helping in the review of applications. Additionally, we hope to rehire a former employee with 3 years experience in our finance department. They can help prepare DFA reports, perform bank reconciliations, and do accounts receivable and payable. They also know how to do payroll and are familiar with the Tyler Encode system. So we do hire this person. It'll be a huge help to Melissa and Ophelia with the basic bookkeeping portions of their duties. Third, we continue to use COVID funds to make much needed upgrades to our water and wastewater departments. Testing of the various new additions to our SCADA monitoring system begin this week. Following up from an inquiry by the mayor, we are still waiting on state approval to begin the renaming process for the new Lovington Magistrate Court. Our city asset inventory has begun with the water department, and our first asset management team training is this Thursday here in the chambers from 9 o'clock to 11:30 with Russ Doss of Sutter Miller. All commissioners are invited to sit in. Our latest GRT monthly revenue figure is in, and for the month of May 2023, it was $823,000. Actually, excuse me, it's 839,000. So when looking at our GRT data, I feel it is important to make relevant comparisons. So this monthly amount of 839,000 compares with 867,000 from the previous month. And it compares to 785,000 from the same month last year. Additionally, our latest month's figure compares to an average GRT of $658,000 for the month of May over the past 5 years. Finally, the monthly average for the GRT for the last trailing 12 months is $909,000 per month. And this trailing average continues to go up. And one final GRT figure, our total fiscal year GRT for fiscal year 2022-23 was $10,850,000. This is up over $3 million from the previous fiscal year. Tomorrow, I will be attending a virtual workshop being given by the Southeastern New Mexico Economic District to ask that the city of Lovington be considered for a small community's economic development capacity building pilot program. They will select only 1 or 2 communities of under 15,000 people from the entire state. The purpose of this SNMEDD pilot program is designed to equip businesses and community leaders with tools to revitalize and invest in their communities with direct organizational and developmental support. The principal objective is to identify strengths and weaknesses for community transformation aimed at strengthening capacity, resiliency, and sustainability of the entire community. Broad community participation in effective planning, financing, and implementing community developmental initiatives will ensure a successful outcome. Finally, I just wanted to say in my 6 weeks here at City Hall, I've learned many things, but I've also observed that we have many very dedicated and hardworking people who work for our city. Some of these folks come in early, stay late, take work home on the weekends, or come into the office on their weekends, and all that without overtime. They do it because they are dedicated to serving our community through their work for the city. I, for one, had not known how hard some of these employees work to ensure that our city functions. One of these people is Shannon Lester. She performs many duties and really puts her heart into her work. And I just wanted to acknowledge publicly how dedicated Shannon is to our city. So thank you, Shannon.
Got off easy.
And one additional note, you have before you the audit proposal, which we'll talk about.
Yes, I have a few things. I'll try to make it quick. First, Crystal is out for the week. She's on vacation, so she won't be back till next Monday. So the first thing that I would like to go over is we had an ETZ commission meeting on July 6th. And we discussed these properties. I'll be going through quantities rather quickly. First is 502 Lone Star Lane. They were approved for a non-conforming use permit for 1 year to allow the owners to move their trucking company to a new location. And they already have one here in town. 2101 they were also granted a 1 year non-conforming use to allow the owners to move their trucking company out of this residential location. There was a lot of community input on this and them being against it, so we decided that it's best that they move out of there. 2023 West Oak, this was just a residential area. The owner just wanted to keep his trucks, his work trucks, and his farming equipment on his property. As this is a residential zone within the ETZ, that wasn't allowed, but he was granted a special non-conforming use to just be allowed to keep that equipment, just him only. If he ever moves, and that is no longer applicable for the next owner. 2406 West Gum, they also requested a zone change and a special use. They wanted to also store work trucks on their lot, but they didn't have anything at the time that we visited to do the inspection. So the ETZ denied their request, feeling that if he can keep it clean, then he shouldn't. He has other places to park his trucks, so there shouldn't be any need for him to park them there. There's also a request for the Cho property, 16, section 16, township 16, range 36 east. Mr. Cho requested to change the zone from his property highlighted there in yellow, from residential to industrial, as he wants to sell the property and there's already a company that would like to put a trucking yard there. So that was approved by the ETZ, as other properties around that area are already commercial. His was the only one that was overlooked and was made into residential for some reason.
On that one, you could, when it comes up, can you explain why he wants industrial instead of just commercial?
I think it's because of the trucking.
I mean, because you can have trucking on commercial. Is he gonna have hazmat or? What is it?
In the ETZ, the way we looked at it, we weren't sure that he could have trucking on R3. And that's why we went with R4, just to make sure that he could, for sure, that when he sold it, that they could have a business there for a trucking. It's just we weren't very clear on the ETZ and the code book. So that's why we went with R4.
It may affect everything around it.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah, it's like your spot.
Spot
That's,
zoning.
yeah, spot zoning, and that it could affect a lot.
And like I said, all the other places around there are already R3, which is commercial. So there's already trucking companies that operate within that area. There's like a water station there where trucks go constantly. He also has I believe he had an old well there. So there's already trucking and, business being conducted there.
I'm just saying, when you do industrial, you can do a little bit more.
Yes.
The commercial, and that's wrong. In the bad part about it, if you put that there, then everybody's gonna assume they can do what he's doing. And they're gonna come back and say, why can he do it? And then you'll have to explain, well, you're industrial. Then they're gonna wanna change to industrial. I mean, that could be a foresight that could come.
You would like, I'm sorry, Jimmy's wrong. You'd like a larger area that's industrial, like on the east side of town? We have a large section that's industrial. I mean, it's mostly residential, but it's zoned all industrial. And if you just zone one plot that's industrial, everything else that'll grow up around be commercial. So you're either gonna have to plot off a larger plot of that land that Choke's gonna have to do and say, I'm doing this much industrial. That would be my suggestion. They could look at it however they want to, but honestly, you don't want any hazmat or any of that other stuff that falls under the industrial. And so there's okay, sorry.
Yeah, it could be.
All of these have been approved by the ETZ commission here, but they still have to be approved by the Lee County ETZ authority. So these are the times that these will be discussed. If anyone has any objections to them, those are the meeting dates for those. I believe those are at 5 p.m. And that's for the Lee County ETZ authority.
And I just want to make a note real quick, Scotty's on the board as well. We did everything residential. That way we can pick and choose what comes in and what can't. And that's why you see so much of this, because we made everything a residential, because we thought about commercial, but we said, no, residential at the lowest. That way if something comes in that has hazmat or something like that we don't approve, we want to make sure they follow the path of getting to that point, because there's too much residential around this area to say that we need to protect.
Any questions on that? And then I also have a status update on the road rehabilitation project on Avenue I from Main to First Street. I got an update today from Philip from Ramirez and Sons saying that they will be paving the road tomorrow and should be done tomorrow. And after that, they will be moving on to Avenue J either by the end of this week or the beginning of next week. And that will be from Avenue J from 5th Street to 7th Street.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. And then this is just showing, yes, where the next project will be. And that's it for me.
So I have a question on that project real quick.
Mhm.
So what are they doing to correct the drainage issue? Or are we just paving over it and hoping for the best?
I'm not too sure, unfortunately. I'll get back to you on that.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Go watch it in a couple of days, you can see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, but I'll be at the parade.
Oh.
Good presentation.
Yes, thank you. Any further questions? All right. Patrick, how are you this evening?
Good, good. How are you?
Very good.
All right, so I don't have anything new other than some comments on 2 or 3 of the agenda items, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hearing none, you're off.
All right.
I just want to say that a special thank you to our city manager today. He accompanied me to, not only accompanied me, he drove me to Albuquerque to a EPA presentation today to the UNM Engineering College. And they gave a $4 million grant to UNM to assist basically rural or needy communities in wastewater and water. And the $4 million will provide 2 years of assistance. And so they will be technical assistance to our needs, our communities in the state. And it's actually in the 5 state areas. They took EPA 6, which is 5 states. They will be the liaison for that. So anyway, it also gave us a chance to meet with our representative from District 3, Ms. Ledger Fernandez, and we had a brief discussion over on a $2.5 million grant that is in appropriation committee. She feels good about it. She talked about it quite a bit today, and so we're hoping that we are a recipient, but we won't know for at least another couple of months. And other than that, Chief got me there safe and sound, got us back. I brought him because I knew we were going to be exceeding the speed limit to get back. We were supposed to finish at 1 o'clock. We felt like we could make it with just a slight exceedance, and then they held us till 1:15. And when she was going, are we going to make it? And I said, you're driving, you have to make it. So anyway, I appreciate him. First of all, it gave us good time to talk and discuss items that are going on, and also about this project in particular. So he gained a lot, we gained a lot, and I just want to say thanks for that.
So he's a professional speeder.
He is, for a fact, yeah.
Sure, brother. Forgot to back.
He waved at the 2 state guys that we passed. Yeah,
Mario and Freddie.
as he was watching in the mirror to see if they were coming back.
I think I'd write a reprimand.
Yes.
Anyway, gee, it was a good trip. I appreciate it very, very much. All right, this brings us to our public comment time. As we always say, if you have something to say, please come to the podium and announce your name. Keep it to about 3 minutes. Ms. Gasman will be timing you, so anyway, anyone that would like to come up?
I'd ask Mexico DOT to come up and make us pitch off
Oh,
the, what Crystal had mentioned the last time.
Okay.
Could give us some insight on that.
we'll even give you a little bit of time extra if you,
Also have, during the call, he's a project manager for constructors.
Can you state
The
your
one in charge. of the
State your-
funding. Well, I know she had mentioned to you about,
okay, hang on, your name, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know.
We know you.
my name's John Laura. I'm the project manager for the Mexico Department of Transportation here in Lee County. been here about 4 years. So our sequencing down Main Street calls for the west side and then the east side to be done. So the proposal from constructors, project manager, was to shut down the 2 blocks completely, which would detour your traffic like it is now on Love. So, and I know it was proposed that the city was to write something over to our permanent section. We could have the heavy traffic taking the suggested truck routes around, because actually they're beating up the streets. They're coming out on First and Love Street, and those streets can't hold that weight. So, if you do that, then I think it would be feasible. That way the trucks could be going around town, not through town. So, because I don't know if you guys have money to take care of the roads, to take, keep either repairing them or coming back and doing a reconstruction job. Those are your city streets. So, but as far as it goes, like I said, with the sequencing, it was a proposal from constructors to do that. His take on it, Darren?
Well, as a contractor, we just feel it's gonna be more efficient. Efficient, equates to production, equates to getting it done a little bit sooner. I think it's gonna be a little safer for us, not having traffic right next to us. We think it's probably a little less impact on the businesses because either you're gonna have the construction right next to you, or the following phase, you're gonna have traffic right next to you. There's not gonna be any more parking out there. So from an efficiency standpoint and a safety standpoint, we feel it's better to close the whole road as we go.
And does Crystal know about this detour, what you had mentioned earlier? Has she been informed that we can do something to where that heavy traffic cannot go down Main?
Well, Mr. Triot, it's kind of a given because you'll have to detour the traffic around. If we stay with the sequencing now, they have 2 lanes. They'll put.
This conference will now be recorded.
The last signage I saw, we need a little improvement on that because 83 does not go west the last time I checked. Not from Avenue D or Main Street. It goes east, but there was a little foul up there. But and so basically we would have to move all the detour signs out further. I know there's out by my yard on 17, they put some signs out there which been pretty, but we still have the local heroes, we'll call them, that think they need to drive McDonald's in a 80,000 GVW vehicle. So I guess we need to come up with a letter to you guys so we can push those signs further out to push that traffic to Gum Street, Commercial, 17th, and Brown or Lacker, different things like that.
I don't know if we've done it already, but we talked about it in the message boards out further.
Right.
That one by the hospital is behind a big sign. You can't read it until you're right on it. The big message board.
Yeah, that's all.
You can see like 2 sentences and then that's all you have time for because it's behind that big sign.
Yeah, we have in place the weight with restrictions for the project, but this would be something that you guys would have established and set.
I think we need.
I'm pretty sure she and I had a conversation last week, and she was going to pin something together that we could then look at and adopt. So with her being out this week, we probably won't get it done this week, but it is in the process, and we would like to see that.
Make sure it's followed up. I don't know if she has or hasn't, but.
Okay.
If she has an accident. Yes.
It's something that I'll be working on this week.
Okay.
And your new
She specifically said you would take care of it. I wasn't putting it extra.
No,
it's something that we have now, but so our current traffic control plan shows traffic, 2-way traffic down Main Street for the entire project when we get there. So this will be changed and they'll have to be detoured. So our traffic control engineer will have to come up with another design, submit it, approve it, and then we go with it. So, I mean, it's not simple, but I mean, it can be done. And it's what needs to be done, you know, this process is gonna work.
We're trying to get ahead of it now. So, I mean, we're a few months out, we'll get done with the intersection, so we've got a couple of months to get this figured out.
I know that, we had the existing permit for the windmill blades that came down through town. There was some discussion whether when they get to the end of commercial, because of the medians and whatever, you might want to look at that. Well, and they made it the day, they made right or whatever. I don't even know how that originally was set up, but that would be the only ones that I feel could.
So it's a trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, our port of entry and our permanent section in Santa Fe did submit the weight and restrictions for them. So if they do try to come through, they'll get cited. EPS, unfortunately, there's not port of entry close enough, but a phone call is all I've seen. You have something coming on. I know it's a big business, but they shouldn't violate.
We definitely need to get it done, so.
Any further questions? Okay, John, and thank you very much for your time and keeping us informed, and hurry every chance you get, you know that.
Sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right. Anyone else before we move on? Seeing no one move. All right, brings us to our non-action items. All right, Ms. White, I believe you have item number 1.
I just thought we should run an RFP for a new accounting firm, open it up to everybody instead of just renewing the same contract over and over, same guy, doing the same results. We've had a few people whisper, I'd like to try, so.
There has been activity and interest from other accounting firms.
And I think the only thing I would, me as commissioner, and I think it should be our objective, is to close out the year. That's all I'm pushing for. With our current accounting firm, or so forth, because without closing out the year, why apply for grants? Because the first thing they say is, what you do this last fiscal year, where's your documentation? It's just like borrowing money. They're going to want your assets. They're going to want to know how your finances are and so forth. And if you have nothing to show for, if I go out and apply for grants, or I go out for art, any type of funding, if you don't have your financial stuff together. And that's what I'm pushing right now. I just want us to close out the year, get Ed. Ed already knows it. Just get them to close out the year. We're behind 3 months in the DFA reports. Just get them done. Let's close out the year. Let's wrap it up. And then we can turn around. If you want to look for somebody else, that's fine, because now we have time. Because we're not so much just on this current fiscal year, but last fiscal year, we're always going to show documentation of what happened at the end of our last fiscal year, just like any business, they're going to see, how are you doing financially before we land you this month? If you don't have the docs, don't even go to the table. So that's why, I mean, right here, I'm all for it. Let's, do an RFP. Let's go out and look around, but let's close out the year. And then when it comes to the audit, now we can make, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, even with Dion. I mean, even if we only contract her for 1 year, for just to close out last fiscal year, she knows it, Ed knows it. Why reinvent the wheel for a year that's only has 3 months left, and you're right there, just close it out. Me as a commissioner, that's my objective. That's going to be my debate every time. We've got the personnel in place to be done quick. Let's just get her done,
By the time
close
we
it out.
advertise this and run it and everything, it'll be 3 months, so it's not
Yeah,
gonna run.
but it's a learning curve. When they come in, they just don't come up and grab your doc, okay, let's go. No, they got to do all their research. They got to come in and get the personnel and not even know if they even have the personnel. And even if they did, they still gotta come in here and research everything. It's a 6 months curve. It's I think it max 6 months, but no less than 3. So it's gonna put us that much more behind. And to say,
The mayor and I have had conversations with at least one outsourcing firm. They couldn't guarantee us people in the office. At that point, it's just outsourcing. They don't have the personnel, but we're waiting for a proposal from them. So
because I just don't want our audit.
additionally, in the RFP, we would need some help in writing that. I don't think we've ever done an RFP for this type of service, so we might need to look up.
See, and that's just basic procurement. How are you doing these high dollar contracts with the one we have without ever doing an RFP? Because they're all well over $60,000, so we're not following the rules on that.
Well, it's a $60,000 maximum, and then it's renewed, and that's been in place for a year and a half, so that's kind of the system I
And the
inherited.
other night was 180 for 6 months. That's not 60,000.
But you know, the thing about it is, and I thought about this too, is
Well,
Ed's only gonna bill out just like Mr. Gandy over here, he's only gonna build out what I request him to do out in the field. And so whatever we request Ed to do, if he's gonna go out there and train, if he's gonna go out there and do reports, yeah, his bill's gonna be high because he got authorization from the city manager to do this work, and it's approved by him, so he's gonna bill out. So yeah, it might be a $60,000 contract, but at the end of the day, if you're telling him to do more than what's expected on that thing, he's gonna bill it out. I mean, any businessman will bill it out. And that's why I say, that's why it's so high. It's not, it comes back to management, it doesn't come back to Ed, because Ed's only billing out what you're asking him to do. And so you gotta look at that from a perspective. He's not sending us a bill that's just, you're requesting him for service. He's gonna give you service, but it's gonna cost. So from that 60, it went to 1. So that's why, management has to take the key role in ensuring that what we're doing and what we're prioritizing to get done. If we don't have the staff to do it, let's find the staff. I mean, that should have been a priority 8 months ago, See, the staff ain't working out. Let's either find the tools to get the job done or get somebody else, one of the two. But right now, like I said, I'll debate that every day. They just close out the fiscal year. Let's close out, this audit for this fiscal year. Let's just close it out. And after that, we got plenty of time to discuss and find something else if everybody's not satisfied with what they're getting, let's just close it out.
and the time to seek a new auditor would be January, not for the fiscal year that just ended, but to get ahead of the game would be January or February of 2024 to seek out soliciting all, not just this one auditor, but others. And we've talked to, Mayor and I have talked to a firm about that as well.
Because the longer we put it off, the longer we're going to get behind. I figure, what are we, 3 months behind or 4 months behind on DFA? Because where are we going to finish this month?
Fourth quarter DFA report, fiscal year DFA report are need to be turned in.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I just want to just get it done. I would feel more comfortable if it's me, district one commissioner, if it's get her done. That's not an issue. I'll debate it every day.
Okay. Anything further? Okay, moving on. Item number 2. I don't know who this is.
Okay, well, that's for the,
Okay.
Commissioner vote to change the hourly operation for the sales of delivery of alcoholic beverages to, we agreed on less mean to mirror the state. Is that on there somewhere? It's just one. It's just a copy of-
Well, honey, we're just saying. What goes what?
Press forward.
You right there? That's forward? Okay,
Oh, there it is.
there you go. That's it. How do you make this bigger? Nope, that's wrong. Sorry. You gotta do the wrong way too. You have a bad driver here. I'm not. That is as big as it's gonna get, I'm so sorry. But you can turn around. There.
Turn around doesn't help me.
It is in your package.
I apologize, it is, I apologize for this.
And this did come from, called Alcoholic Beverage Control, it's on their website from the state's bill that they wrote regarding the hours of operation, and this does all theirs. And so this is just permission to publish this ordinance for adoption. I think it would be at 14th day of August. So that will be legal resolution 2023-076 to publish the ordinance.
That happened to this day.
Did we directly mirror the state on this?
Yes. This is
The reason I asked,
from the hours of operation.
right, the only thing that I know from a few years ago that was different is Christmas Day is still excluded. And so I don't know if it still is on the state site, but when we talk, I mean, it was the only day of the year that was set aside to the whole day. You could not be open. And I don't know if it still is, that's the reason I'm asking. So if we're going to mirror it directly, I guess we need to determine if Christmas
It
is.
says Sunday holidays and election days. Removal of restrictions. And that's a holiday.
Yeah, that's the change of our current ordinance, was the removal of Sunday holidays and election day. That's the way I understand this, is the change from ours was the first line, and then we will basically follow the package sales on premise license and restaurant license holders.
You want me to check on that for Christmas Day?
I guess my question would be, what does the commission feel about, do they want to have Sundays open for alcohol consumption and service or not? So we might be able to, shortchange it right here.
Okay.
So my question would be is, since we mirrored, when we did the cannabis deal, I don't know remember what the hours of operation of that is, are these both going to reflect the same?
I don't think cannabis has the same hours as.
Right, because I know we mirrored that pretty close on most of the other things like the churches and different things like that, so.
We did make a few changes on that as far as distance, as far as cannabis is concerned. But as far as the hours, I did not look to see if Christmas separate and apart from any other hours or what they define as a holiday is still available or not. But based on your discussion, we could also incorporate that in, depending on commission feels, we could incorporate that into this draft and send it out, advertise it based on a motion to either, despite what the state has to say, to include Christmas for sales or exclude Christmas.
I'm in favor of excluding.
Well, that's,
Just at least have one day of liberty. Sorry.
I am too, and that'd be, that was my question was, that was the only day that the state ever, for the past 5 years that I was involved with it, Christmas was excluded. When I first got involved, election day, you were limited until, I believe, after 7 p.m. But then they eliminated that, but they always kept Christmas. So I think if we mirror their hours, we can then add in no sale on Christmas Day. Or December the 25th, 12 a.m. to 12 p.m. Other way, 12 p.m. No, I mean, no, I was right. Well, they used to limit it all.
Yeah.
But again, I haven't read it since they changed it. But we still can change that here, so.
Yeah, I mean,
There are no Christmas, election, Sunday restrictions in terms of hours of operation. But takeaway liquor, like from a package, is illegal. Oh, here it is. 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. 7 a.m. And then 11 for.
You have the ability to make a motion if you want.
make a motion that knows.
Well,
No, we're right.
We're in discussion, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right. Got ahead of myself. You're right, okay. But we do have the ability. You're right, sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay, any further discussion?
Sure, and if you're doing Christmas, you might as well do Easter.
They need to be praying, right, David, on Christmas, at least on Christmas, right?
So at least you get people to church at least twice a year. You know?
Let's suspend it every Sunday.
Wait, we learned it.
53, your years are long. That was only 52.
Okay, all right. We will have this for action item just a little. Moving on, Commissioner Trio.
Yes. And all it was just a follow-up with the city manager on how we're doing with the waterway. Gretchen, I think Shannon had mentioned earlier about the vets and the seniors, and I was just seeing about where we stood. City manager.
So after working very closely with Wendy for the past 3 weeks, very confident we've identified what we need to work on. We have sent out an information newsletter for this month's water bill to the public in English and Spanish. I think you've all seen that. If not, I can read it. But it would be my recommendation that we do a special workshop with the commission, maybe sometime in August, where we can kind of go into detail about maybe what we need to change or possibly a new rate structure, something that we could work on. It's not going to be a short-term solution. Right now, we're just holding it in place. But I think it would be probably better to do a special workshop session with the commission so we could kind of go into what's been going on and talk about maybe some improvements.
Is that also put in the mail as far as with that discount, as far as with the water bill? If it's not, I would recommend that we put that discount in the water bill going out to the public. That way there, if there's people that are not aware, elderly people and that, the 10% discount and the disabled. So that way there, that
Should send out that notification maybe twice a year or something like that.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
I know.
By the time I get to 65, I won't remember.
Right.
Yeah, or probably,
Yeah.
probably to the point to where they can pick up the application, because I know it's an application.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We can do that. And we're dealing with a matter of 2% rate increase, which was supposed to have taken place this month, has been thrown. So maybe sometime in August, we can get together and kind of discuss what's been happening and figure out how we want to go forward.
Yeah, and I think overall, what are we now profiting with all this decimal point moved out into the right place? Is it?
Well, we haven't put that change in yet.
Okay, but
We haven't corrected, we haven't touched the thing until we look at everything that's been happening, and then the commission can decide on how we want to proceed. So we have, nothing has changed, nothing's going to change next month. We just, so, and that's part of what this says here is.
Because I think that's the real question, is that how are we doing financially at the end of the day, at the end of the
water,
how are we doing financially?
the utility fund pays for itself.
But yeah, it pays for itself. But is it ensuring that we have money to take care of infrastructure in the future and so forth? I know we have bonds and so forth that takes care of it. You know, let's say, going back to moving the desk, now, it hasn't been moved yet, but you know, like I said, when we do it, where do we financially stand? That's what I want to know, is where we financially stand, because I don't want to say, well, we're ready to break it even after all is said and done, or have a couple of $100,000, because we know that ain't gonna pay for all this water lines that need to be replaced, or new meters, or any type of new wells to be made. I want to make sure that we have funding, because once we do it once, I'd rather take the punch from the public one time. I don't want to come back in 90 days and revamp, or 2 years revamp it. I want to take the punch one time, that's it, and I'll take that punch and say we did the right thing at the time. But I don't want us to come back and revise a year from now because find out, oh man, we're in the red now because we didn't account for this and that. So,
and that's the point of, I want to do it right. I want to show you what it would entail. And then if you guys want to make a change to the ordinance or the rates or whatever, that's up to the commission. But I mean, to answer your first question, it's my personal belief that by correcting some billing inefficiencies, it might mean increased revenue to the city, not in the form of a rate increase, but just doing what we're supposed to be doing all along.
Do you have a proposed date that you would like to put in a workshop? I think that would be our next step.
I would ask that it be any week, but the second week of August. But other than that, I'm not going to just.
I'm good.
And it would only be maybe 2 hours.
What day of the week? Do we want to keep it on Monday night?
Whatever works for the commission. It could be during the day, or after.
It's probably
Yeah, do it during the day, that might be a meeting. You won't be there either.
Yeah, Monday night. Not a commission.
Right. Okay.
Commission night out.
Commission nights are the 14th and the 28th.
We could do the 21st.
I won't be here the 7th. 21st will be mine.
21st works for me.
Gentlemen, ladies?
And don't have a calendar right.
Oh, you mean a personal calendar?
So Monday, August 21st at 5:30.
Tentatively, we will have a meeting before then, so we will revisit it. Okay.
But nothing has been changed. I just want to reiterate that. Nothing has been changed.
Any other questions? Brings us to your next item.
Yes, because we have the audit on there, but pretty much I was elaborating on that on the first discussion item on the audit. And the thing about the audit too, is that when you do an audit contract, it's a 3-year contract, but we want to go with 3 years. If we don't want to go with a 3 year, if we want to just go with RFP for looking for somebody else and just ask Dion, can we just give us a figure for 1 year audit for the last year fiscal year so we can get that out of the way? Because she, like I said, she's already been through our books. She pretty much she said it's going to be on time. That's what I'm echoing. And that's what we want. So we want that objective. We know that she's already seen our books, so it'd be easier to get it done. And
so I would just note that I have spoken to one other very well-known auditing firm. They advised that they wouldn't be able to do the fiscal year that just ended audit in time. We would love to engage and maybe talk to them, like I said, in February of next year, do it at the appropriate time. Just today, and I sent it to everyone, I think it's on your desk. We did get a proposal from Dion. If you look at page 4 of that proposal, she does quote $55,000, which is a little higher. I would note that she actually gave us a 4-year proposal. So first year would be this year, as I understand it. First year is higher because it includes a federal single audit, which includes 56 more hours. I don't know what that means. I just know that this is the only year she would do it, but she
That's
advised.
not true. Okay, this is the only, okay, basically, I do know the answer to what you're asking. Anytime you receive federal money of greater than 750,000 or more, you have to have a single audit. We know for a fact that we'll have to have it this year because of our COVID funds, yes. Now, any other year that we were to receive federal aid above that amount, we would also be required a single audit. An additional.
So Ms. Willoughby advises that she could have this audit done on time because of her familiarity with the city and working with Ed, who's already preparing. And Ed said, look, I'll prepare for the audit no matter who you use. But Dion had said that she could get this audit done on time.
It goes back to cost. If you use somebody else, they're gonna ask for something. And Ed's familiar with this lady, so I prefer Ed and her because they've already worked together on an audit.
I would be happy to go out and find another auditor for next year, but I would recommend that we use it this one last time because I would hate to see us miss the audit deadline.
And that'd be one of the questions to city managers, that would she be willing to just to do it for 1 year?
Right.
1 year, and then just so that we're looking at an RFP for next year's, because
Right.
you could maybe talk to her and see what the cost would be. She'll probably hand you the cost because it's not a 4-year contract, it's a 1, but
Right now,
even if it's a slight difference, I think.
Right, and right now she's quoting us 55,000.
Yeah, so it may be a little higher because it's not a longer contract, but when I look at it, just get last year out of the way.
Yes, sir. Right.
Or start fresh.
Yes, sir.
We have an action item on that, but I don't believe we have the information to move forward, so we'll get to that. We'll have to make decisions. All right, any other questions on that particular discussion?
I think one other thing.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, since it's a 1 year, if she agrees to a 1 year, I guess we can put our next on the next go around, but I just saying the quicker we get it done, because I don't want her get her hands tied and say, well, you guys took it a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if there's any
Patrick
language.
has something you'd like to.
If you're inclined, I guess you could incorporate that into your motion for 1 year. That way it's passed, we don't have to wait another 2 weeks, and you can go talk to her and say, hey, will this work? And you're still open for next year, wow, so that way we're not,
that'd be good.
2 weeks, 4 weeks from now.
Because appreciate that.
Sure.
Anything further? Okay. Brings us to the public hearing. Ms. Cat?
Yes. We'll open up the public hearing for restaurant approval. Restaurant beer, wine, and spirits license approval for El Cangrejo Seafood Bar, I believe it. Yes.
They're behind you.
It's at 1600 West Avenue D at Lovington Inn. And they've done all the paperwork, got the application in, it's approved by Crystal for their zoning. And in your packet there, it shows the layout, the letter that Crystal sent. So we just really need your approval to send back to the state.
I think we also need to open it up to the public.
Yes, it's a public hearing.
Yes.
Since it's a public hearing.
We don't mean that. We
Hi, my name is Jesus Llanes, and I come with you because I'm trying to get the legal license. I'm the owner in Habanero, Simple Park. great or something. So I'm hearing, we don't speak too much English, and I'm not going to probably need somebody else to explain to me something.
I'm not very good.
No, that's fine.
For sure, so please,
Because, you know,
I'm not very good.
o sea, estamos tratando de agarrar la asistencia porque como es algo nuevo que hicimos aquí, de mariscos, de circo, y toda la gente pues va y el circo viene acompañado con cervezas.
So he's wanting to bring this, well, he's brought this business here to Lovington, wanted to something new. Everybody likes seafood, so he's also the owner of the Habanero in Homs as well. So he's hoping he does get approval. Do you have any questions for him?
I have a question. Well, not so much a question, but I want to have an understanding that alcohol, if we do approve this, alcohol will be served the only time that the restaurant is open serving food. I see in the plot here, you have the dance floor and everything else, and it cannot be run as a bar where once the food stops being served, that then alcohol is served. Once food stops, the alcohol has to stop.
Sir.
So I just wanted to make sure there was an understanding on that.
Y cuando para la comida tiene que parar la. Yeah.
Just like we do something, so.
Como no pueden tener baile.
No, vamos a, ya estuvimos en una corte por teléfono con los de Santa Fe, nos explicaron todo.
Okay, so he's been with Santa Fe, they have explained everything to him.
Okay, okay.
And I know that there is a ratio, they have to.
60/40.
Yeah, 60/40. Usted sabe de eso, 60/40 de la.
Is there anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
There is an open invitation that, if it is a public hearing, if you have something to say on this, you can come forward. Please understand that this is primarily it's just a procedure. We, as a commission, are limited. We cannot stop it. We can voice concerns or whatever else. But the state of New Mexico Alcoholic Gaming actually is the authority on this, and they will proceed. So we're not here to debate whether alcohol is good or bad. It is specifically to this location and any concerns that would arise. So podium is open. Again, please come to the podium and announce your name, speak what you have to say, and we will move on.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to do myself in just a second. Okay. And then we look at the wait time, get some like those some courage.
Okay.
That's it.
Say that again. Oh, well, to be honest, I'm not waiting. Yeah.
Yeah. The person who writes the RFP can be one of the brokers.
Did you work on
That's why I heard it.
Okay, well, that's good.
They just did that big last month stuff. They changed things. Whenever. I don't think it would matter. Because it's like, as long as you aren't voting on it and then like, I don't think we're going to document and then.
Well, that's good.
And it's just that's the whole crutch of our, they have the elevation.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you.
Having no further comment, I guess this concludes our public hearing. Anything further we need, Patrick?
As far as the hearing, no, I think Shannon follows up with the results of the hearing, submits everything back with that application to the state, so I think we're.
Okay. This brings us to our action items. We'll entertain a motion on.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-073. Approval of not saying the word after L. L crab liquor license. Bingo.
Okay.
No,
Okay, I have a motion and a second for the approval of this resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Shannon, roll call, vote, please.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner White, yes, Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes. And good luck.
Success.
Okay. Mr. Gandy.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-074. Approval of publishing RFP professional service agreement contract accounting firm.
Which one will we go into? Tell me your.
This one.
Okay, so this.
This is just advertising.
Yes.
Yes.
This is just for, we're just advertising for an RFP.
Just see what's out there.
Seeing what's out there. So.
Okay, we have a motion. For, I'm sorry, for this resolution, any further discussion?
Who seconded?
It was the hesitation.
So I just had a question to ask and I figured to ask it before.
Yes, no, you're good.
All right, hearing no further discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-075, certifying city consumable inventory as of June 30, 2023.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. On this resolution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, discussion.
This is just required,
Right.
every year, the auditors will ask for this when they're doing the audit. Consumable inventory is things you use up, like pens, papers, and supplies they have that they can see the
And
field.
it's included in your package. In the package. I spoke with the city manager today and asked him his recommendation on approval of this, so.
I would recommend approval based upon, this is done every year, we need it for the audit.
And if anybody disagrees with it, they're welcome to go count all of this. Is that, I'm sorry?
Count all the paper clips.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Any further discussion? If not, Shannon, roll call vote.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-076. Approve publishing ordinance 600, amend municipal code 5.08.050, hours of operation to sell, serve, or deliver alcohol, excluding Christmas Day.
Second.
I'd like these to go.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Jen, you understood the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Gandy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hearing no discussion, roll call, vote, please.
Commissioner Gandy?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Bolt?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Just hate this. I'm gonna drink some juiceless tea. Resolution 2023 Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-077, lodgers tax request first quarter 2024.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve this resolution. Who's taking, I'm sorry? Shannon, okay.
It's in the standard summary of what was recommended by the Lovers Tax
Yep.
Board. 7,500 for EDC for the Fiesta Day, September parade. Lovington Chamber, 2,500 Fair Rodeo Parade advertising, and Lovington Main Street, 3,000 for the New Mexico Road to one match grant.
We don't have anyone from Lodge Tax.
Anyone?
Oh, Ms. Price, I'm sorry, you were behind, I couldn't see you. Where you been?
We did have money left over, so that's why we done that.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Price? Discussion? Hearing none, Shannon?
Commissioner Bolt?
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-078. Approve signatures for Western Commerce Bank certificate of deposit.
Okay, that motion in a second. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, this is merely to move approximately $180,000 of one CD, which had been in Estacado. We were advised by the auditor that since we have another one there, it was over the FDIC insured limit of $250,000. So in the meantime, we parked it at the County State Bank. So now we're going to open an account at Western Commerce. We'll have one CD in Western Commerce, the other in Estacado, and this is securitized money that we're required to do for one of our water projects.
I have one question. Mayor brought up a point on our last discussion on this. We have, and what I've been thinking about a lot too, is that we have so much revenue in just one bank right now because of the check we received from the county. I was looking at maybe finding either Western Commerce Bank or another source to where we can kind of like divide that, so we won't have so much just in one bank, because right now I think we have more than.
And I would agree with that, and I consulted with Ed Piero, and he also thinks it's a good idea to kind of diversify risk a little bit.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Even though through the County State Bank, it's my understanding that everything is insured through other banks, but it just maybe have a reserve with another bank.
The one thing that we talked about that I think is reflected in this is we have pledged security,
right?
But with Mrs. Willoughby's recommendation, they only pledged it 50%. So her recommendation was to pledge it 100%. And with all of the extra money, this discussion needs to go before whatever bank that is the final destination for all money is to get 100% pledge.
I might shop around for that.
Well, and we'll need to discuss, I mean, these are, You just don't go in there and say, okay,
Yeah,
we'll give you
yeah.
$20 million and you have to, like, they can refuse you, so.
Exactly. Something really good.
So through this, we will be at least opening one account with Western Commerce, because previous to that, we've had no accounts.
As far as that funding that we receive from the county, how soon do we have to use that?
There's no limitation.
Not one fiscal year?
There's no.
It's always best to use it because when they come around again, because their next fiscal year, oh, you still got that money we gave you the previous year, you don't need no money. So.
And we're still also waiting, 420.
Any further discussion? If not, Shannon?
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Taylor,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes. I don't have the list, so.
It's just, we need a new commissioner.
No, it's tax board first, right?
So who's volunteering?
Auditor tax
Which is,
resolution.
oh, water tax appointment.
Yeah, well,
Do you have any choices for that, Ms. Shannon?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Misty Hine, and she's, what's the name of her, what's the name of her RV park? Is it Zia?
Yeah, the one on that.
Okay, yes, she has agreed to serve. I would like to serve.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for Resolution 2023-079, Lodgers Tax Board Appointment, Misty Hine.
Motion and second, Melissa. Any discussion? Shannon?
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner White, Mayor Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make, who's volunteering? You got it? Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for Resolution 2023-080. Is it there? Yeah. Parks and Rec Board Appointment with volunteer Scott Bolt from the commission.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second on that.
Are you good with that? I saw you raise your hand. I sold you out.
So I just had a question.
I didn't even ask. I'm sorry.
When you heard me say no, then you know. Hopefully I get asked first.
I wasn't gonna go, I wasn't gonna let it go very long. I was gonna get there and railroad you right.
I didn't know if you're, what you said, apply or what.
I don't want to swallow it.
It's working.
Okay, Shannon, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner White,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Yes.
Mayor Roberts.
Yes. All right.
I have a question on that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I looked it up and in our city agenda, no, as far as with our Facebook page and everything, I looked it up as far as when meetings are, and I had not seen anything as far as meetings for this. So my question is, when are meetings for this?
There's supposed to be one a quarter, and we missed last quarter, and they missed it on a couple other things. So I told them to just always put it whenever it was lodger's tax and planning and zoning, and then they would just have that Wednesday, like at 4:30.
Because it should be, I believe, in there, and it should be
Yes.
advertised, so.
Now we'll just
I just wanted to-
advertise as we go.
Okay.
When Crystal gets back, we plan on getting back on track.
That's right. And I had asked her to schedule when this next quarter, whenever those others.
Because I thought there
I
was
think our
something
air.
on, I'll never have to show up.
It's 74 and 75.
Now we'll show up all the time.
No.
Okay. think it's in your court.
Yeah, I know, and I'm struggling here. I'm sorry. No, that's not that. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-081, addition of Juneteenth holidays.
We have a motion and second on this resolution. Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Juneteenth was added as a federal holiday 2 years ago. It's also a state holiday and a county holiday. I, during my time as police chief, had some employees express that they feel we need to follow this. It would be my recommendation to adopt this as a city holiday as well.
We still have the 2 floating holidays,
Yes, sir.
so we had additional holidays.
How many holidays are total?
And it's federally, I think there's,
No, just
No,
over here.
11. There's 9 plus 2. This would be 10.
Just adding holiday.
How many holidays do we have?
Counting Good Friday.
11.
Nine holidays, I mean, not counting floating holidays.
Okay, we got 2.
It'll be 11.
Oh, 11 paid holidays, this will give us 12.
Well, plus the next one will be 13.
but we work on Columbus Day, Veterans Day, and President's Day.
Yeah.
We don't get those.
So let's do those two.
This is all private industry up here on this table. It's hard to follow.
I didn't even know we had those holidays. I'm gonna call in. It's a holiday.
Oh,
And we haven't passed any on Monday night. have we?
Yes. But we always mess up.
All right. Any further discussion?
But I think it's really crucial that we still understand where we stand financially. You know, I know we want to give to our employees and so forth. But, you know, I just want to make sure that the expectations are there. We can give you another holiday. It costs the city money. Expectations are always high. And, you know, for raises and so forth annually. But when you start incurring more cost into the system, you're pulling off what you got out. And I mean, I appreciate everything they do for us, and the 5% raise was there for them. You know, sometimes I just worry we get too much in debt, just like when I mentioned to Commissioner Gandy about it, he threw it right out there. He already knew what I was talking about, Detroit, and that always comes to mind, Detroit went bankrupt, you know, I mean, they went bankrupt because too much pension, too much everything, they just couldn't afford it. And, sometimes that worries me, but I know we want to give to our employees, and it's well deserved because I know they've been stuck with us through hard times, but I just want to remind everybody that, you know, this is occurring every year. So it's another additional cost for the city, and right now GRTs are great because oil and gas is great, but you know, last time I checked prices, they're still dipping below 70. So I worry about that as well. And the day we hit a 600 GRT number, I just don't want nobody to come and tell me why this or why that, because I'm going to say, you know, we gave you all we could give. And sometimes we might have to take back because we're giving too much. And that's one thing another reason why it's hard to swallow something like this, because I never want to take something back that I give. But the hard times does come, and you know, I know 3 commissioners up here been through them hard times. We had to make them hard time, that decision. We got punched a lot for doing it, but I just want to make it clear that if we pass it tonight, just
Just to take the other side of that argument, I would just add that you could look at it, it makes us a little bit more competitive, because people look at the county or state or federal and they say, well, they don't have that holiday off, why don't we? So.
And I understand. It just didn't, what can you afford? It's just like your house. I can only afford to live in the means the income I get. I wish I could live like, you know, President Biden is, you know, with money on the side and so forth, but I just can't, you know. So you have to live within your means is what I'm saying. So that's what I agree. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, further discussion?
No.
Jen?
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
No.
Commissioner White,
No.
Commissioner Trujillo,
Stay now.
Mayor Roberts.
That went a whole different way than that.
I'm gonna say yes. Not that it matters. It doesn't matter at this point, but I'm gonna say.
It goes back to the 5%. Just give it 5%.
All right, it's up to me again. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-082, addition of Good Friday holiday.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second on this. Discussion. I would like to say one thing, and it really just hit me as we were talking about this. Effectively, this is only a half a day because we're closed. It's on Friday, closed half a day. That was just a point.
Yeah, well, and most of the guys that work in the field, they work Monday through Thursday. They don't work on Fridays. So I did think, as far as this being a holiday, it would be for a full day, which would give them that Thursday off. And it would give the ones that do work on half a day on Friday, well, some of them work a whole day on Friday though. But like we at City Hall and the administrative staff across the street at Fire and Police, they work a half a day. And normally when that comes up, we would take a half, like we would take off at noon on Thursday. And that would complete our full day. So, I mean, there's just some changes there. I think senior citizens, they're working their regular hours with the library. So, and animal control, they work Fridays as well. So there are some that would take that full day. So, I mean, really, if you can make it a holiday, it's full day. And I don't know what this other county, painting this, they do the full day.
All right.
Yeah, there's so many different.
Sounded like it hurt.
It did. I can only hear you now. It's like a concert
Okay.
on this side.
Any further discussion?
So this is for a full day.
Well, they are.
Okay.
I'm just, you take off what you generally do.
It doesn't, I'm around here.
I know.
Because the thing, and it comes to mind, I keep coming back to the dollar. It's just like the state had passed that we also now include X amount of days for sick leave. Now we're adding that on to our payroll. That's why I don't like to say no to these Juneteenth and Good Friday. But, that's something we hadn't even thought of, now, other than our issued sick leave, under their contract now, they have additional because the state passed X amount, you get X amount of sick leave, and that's additional cost for the city. Here we are continuing that cost to the city as we add these resolutions. I mean, I'd like to have Friday off. I mean, I'd like to do a lot for the employees. I mean, but like I said, going back to live within our means, and we got to take everything into consideration and what the state has passed on sick leave and so forth. We hadn't added that additional cost to the city. I don't even know our Treasury Department has even considered that in our cost with employees.
You mean like doing a cost study of giving?
No, what did the state pass about sick leave, the new sick leave law, or?
1 every 30 hours. 1 hour for 30 hours.
Yeah, 30 hours. Instead of our regular you know, what they normally get. I don't know what their paid sick leave or whatever now.
I think we were already doing that with our sick leave policy, so that didn't really changes on that. But on the holiday pay, I mean, you've got, police and fire. Those shift workers, they're gonna be getting additional pay. They get additional pay for holidays.
Yes.
They'll be getting holiday pay, you know, which we had not budgeted for. That's something to think about.
So explain, because I don't understand your days of operation again too.
Well, you just have some people working half days. You have some people working, they don't work at all on Fridays. Then you have other departments that work the normal.
Because I work more like the police department and fire department, we don't.
Well, there's.
So I don't know, I struggle with that deal. So,
Yeah.
so we're basically a 4-day-a-week business right now.
No.
40 hours. 40 hours. So certain departments, they just work 40 hours. So it's four 10-hour days.
Some, yeah.
So Monday, so some are looking through Thursday, some are Tuesday through Friday, depending on how.
No, water, wastewater, and streets, and
Cemeteries for parks and rec.
Monday through Thursday, 40 hours.
They work Monday and Thursday.
I understand, the way I look at it, they work Fridays. So, I mean, that's just the way I look at it.
Our holidays don't work.
Because we changed all that stuff to shorten that up for benefit of the employees. So maybe we should go back to the 8 hours a day. You know,
I have no problem hearing that.
yeah, because, I mean, either we're shortening up the work week and the schedules, and it's like, why don't we have a larger, broad spectrum of the week there, so it's such a short, that's just me. So,
Oh, I have no problem with that.
yeah, I mean, you don't ever go home. The only time you stop is here, so.
And I think it comes, and it falls back on that too, because if we're past this, normally in fire department, everybody's gonna get that time and a half on that thing. And
Well, those that are on duty.
on duty, yeah, but I'm saying, it's additional cost other than.
Yeah, but it's just 1 day of additional cost. I mean, we're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for 1 day. So,
You can just do a half day because the administration is open a half day. I mean, if you want to do that, just to recognize the fact that it's Good Friday and our offices will be closed and you just have to pay the 4 hours, whatever.
Well, I know what you're saying for admin, yes, that's okay, but the guys who's working patrol, they work a full day, so if you're getting off a half a day, are we gonna?
They'd be getting 4 hours at holiday pay and 4 hours. I think it gets a little convoluted there.
And it's 24 hours, whatever you look. It's additional cost. I mean, it is additional cost. I just worry. Like I said, been through the times, you know, in the hard times, I just want to go back.
I say just leave it at full day and let's swing the axe and see.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Probably.
Swing that.
Let's swing the axe.
Swing that.
Okay.
Cut herself, cut her, it off. This one.
We're rolling the dice to swing it.
I think I'd rather roll the dice than swing that.
Shannon, it's time to roll the dice.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes, I started to. Y'all got me totally confused here tonight, so, all right.
You know it is because it's Good Friday and I'm Catholic, so I guess that's fine.
Why did we go through all of that?
I just want to know how everybody felt. I just want to know, make sure we know what we're getting into, you know, so when, on the day we have to start cutting, we all agreed upon it. We all-
It was unanimous.
Yeah, it was unanimous.
Okay, all right. Mr. Mayor, let's make a motion for resolution 2023-083, approval of audit services fiscal year 23 contract. 1 year.
Yeah, it would be,
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
So may I just ask for clarification? So if this passes, you're authorizing me to go back to Ms. Willoughby tomorrow and accept her contract for 1 year only? Is that what?
Ask her if she will fulfill a one-year contract.
With no penalties at the price stated in the.
Well, she has to go up most likely.
Well, it's 55,000.
But she's going to go up because I'm saying that she put in a 4-year contract. So most likely.
Well,
Kind of knew where we were at.
The first year was the only year with a federal review, and that's why she charged us strictly on additional hours. So I don't think it's like loading the front end higher than the rest of the contract. It was strictly based on, anticipated amount of hours. So if I can get her to stick to that number.
Or not to exceed X amount.
Well, it can't go higher than 60. Yeah.
There's a good possibility.
Well,
She could accept
but
55.
what I'd like to be able to do, if you authorize me, is go back to her tomorrow, and if it's 1 year with no other penalties, accept the contract for the stated price in here, which is 55,000. That's all.
Yes, 1 year.
Okay, I just want to clarify this.
Yes.
Or under the procurement level. Maybe that would be an easy way. If there is an additional, because there may be.
And 99 cents.
Yeah.
I just want, because I'd like the ability to finalize this with her tomorrow so she can start.
I totally
and
agree.
can start giving
And then
her-
January, when we are,
Yes.
she can apply again.
She can apply again if she wants.
There you go.
Agreed.
I'm just saying.
But if there is any price negotiation, he's gonna have to amend his motion.
Right.
So we either leave it for the price stated with this current, or if we want to keep it under the $60,000 procurement level.
Here, let me restate my motion, please. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-083. Approve audit services fiscal year 23 contract for 1 year, as long as it's below the $60,000 procurement mark.
Okay. Motion and second for this amended motion. Any further discussion? Okay, I have one question. I'm going to ask a knowledgeable person from the audience. How many years can an auditor be your auditor consecutively?
I think it's just 8 years.
Is it 8 years? Because this was,
It's either 6 or 8 years.
yeah. She had a 3. This one was for a 4, and I was thinking of either 6 or 8, and I can't remember if it was 6. So. Okay, but we're good with this.
Typically, we've always tossed them out about every 3 years. That's always kind of been the cycle for us.
Right.
So due to staffing issues and different things, the 8 ball running over a couple of times. Yeah, I think this is probably the best way to go for the.
Oh, no. I totally, no, it wasn't that. I just didn't even know if we could take the 4-year proposal that she threw at us. Okay, doesn't matter. We're on the 1 year. Okay,
I don't know if we want to go down. So,
all right, any further discussion? All right, Shannon, please.
Commissioner Trujillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy?
Yes.
Commissioner White?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe?
Yes.
Mayor Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for resolution 2023-084. Stinger 14, number 1, amendment to surface use agreement, section, what is that, 6, paragraph 2, flow line placement.
So we have a motion and a second on this resolution. Discussions?
Yes, so there's a slide.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I dropped
So,
the ball.
Armstrong Energy was notified by New Mexico Gas that there's an existing gas main somewhere within this. So they were wanting to amend the surface use agreement to have their flow line be above ground except through access points. So that would be the roads leading into this. And so that's that's what this motion is, to amend the surface use agreement to allow them to build their flow line above ground. Currently, I don't know if they know where it is, but their start date for the rig is August 15th. So if we were to push this back to the next city commission meeting, it would be August 14th, which would leave them one day in essence to see if they were approved or not. So this is just more of a better safe than sorry. If the gas line isn't in use, they can go underground, but if it is, then this will allow them to build above ground, so everyone's safe.
But they wouldn't be using the flow line, are they using it for water transfer, or are they using it for?
So we have an arm.
It's just,
If you don't mind, would you come up? Sure. We're gonna try to shorten it where we can get.
I'm Kyle Alpers with Armstrong Energy. I'm Vice President of Engineering. We went to build our road out here in the southwest corner along Avenue R and Industrial. And during the one call, we determined there was actually a DCP line that runs through there. Got all the DCP. They're not completely sure where it goes. They do know that it's out of service. So I apologize. I hope to have had more information about that line before tonight, but they haven't gotten back to me. Right now, we kind of have two options, really three options. And me coming here tonight was really more to keep you guys in the loop that we're working on it. The first option would be our original plan, which would be to ditch our flow line as laid out here. The problem with that is we don't know where the DCP line is. It's a 6-inch poly line, so it's not detectable. They do know it's out of service, they just don't know the exact. Our second option would be above ground, like we've talked about tonight, has been proposed. That obviously would be the cheapest route for us. The third option is, and this is what I've been trying to get a hold of DCP for, if that line is in good shape, they do know that it goes from where I need it to start by where I need it to end. I might see if they'll let me take that over and utilize that as our flow line, since it's already buried. But I really don't have which option is available to me right now.
But the flow line's gonna be temporary, right?
No, sir, it'll be permanent.
Permanent.
Well, for the life of the well.
So this is the production side, it's not for the drilling or anything like that?
Correct, this is production. So our well will be in the blue rectangle, and our production facility is up on the, at an existing battery.
Ollie.
What's that?
Ollie.
Yes, sir, Polly.
City manager?
Yeah, probably a dumb question. Is this one of the properties that Dan Field uses?
Yes.
So that red line wouldn't interfere with his pivot?
No.
Okay,
It's
you're
around.
on the edge of it.
If we were to go on the surface, I think it really would be better to run it along the fence lines. It would almost remain hidden against the fence line. If it's following the circle of the pivot, then there's more chance for it to get run over, people to see it, vandalism, things of that nature.
Oh, has anyone taken into consideration the effluent lines that we have that run underground from the ponds
Yes.
to the farm?
That's why I think
That
about
goes
it.
underneath where your proposed land is lying? your flow
Yes, sir. I do not know if those showed up on a one call. We haven't ditched anything yet, but that's part of the issue with ditching our line around there is just ECP line and then the water line.
We have about 4 still under.
Okay.
There.
Okay. And are they, do you know if they're steel or poly?
I don't know, for sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
But they're there.
Okay.
That may, you know, that may help us to
Yes, sir.
So we've got it off the table on this, so it comes back with more information, so it'll only be a day.
The August 14th really won't be an issue. I was notified on Friday that the rig is delayed a little bit, so I think if we, we also won't need this until we know we make it well. And if it's surface, we can do that fairly quickly.
We can table it.
Well, it's not uncommon to run into these situations with flow line, especially with what's out there. So, and DCP not being able to find their poly is. So.
Well, I guarantee you, he will find it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no doubt you'll find it. With pressure on it,
If
of course.
we don't have a time crunch and Armstrong is okay to do that. And I think maybe the suggestion about keeping it closer to the fence line keeps it out of sight, also away from farm equipment, livestock, those types of things. So as long as we have some additional time, and it's very common to modify a service use agreement to include something like this. So this is not out of the ordinary as far as the request or out of the ordinary as far as what a service owner anticipated would end up doing in the long run. So.
Now, if you utilize the DCP's line, would you utilize that as your primary line instead of putting a new one in, or?
Yes, sir. If we're able to get that line from them and it works out to where we think it goes, or, you know, it's where we need to go.
Right.
That would be.
That way there, we wouldn't be running into any.
Right, that's line's already
there.
Yes.
We can produce into it, take it out on the other end of the production facility. I believe there's a well pad to the south of where we're gonna drill called the Shelby 14 or the Shelby 11. And it's P&A, and I believe this gas line probably came from there and went to this facility or nearby it where we're building to. So it could work out to be a pretty good arrangement. Now, if that's an option with DCP, remains to be seen.
Right.
But as long as it don't affect their cost, as long as we're not in a crunch, it's for sure.
And being a 6-inch polyline, that's a lot of volume you put in underground.
Yeah.
You make better off on the surface. So, or ditching it close and burying it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Our cows flow lines go too.
Yes, ma'am.
Dirt bikes and low lines.
They do.
I know we're not.
We're going to table this.
So do you want
Do we want
to, so instead of table, you want to just vote no and then bring it back?
that'd be easier than, you can keep us abreast of
Okay.
when you would like to bring this back up.
Okay, and the next meeting is August 14th?
The second Monday.
Okay,
Yeah, it is, because yes, it is.
okay. We'll be in touch with Crystal and make sure she's got.
Just need it a week before, the Monday, so the 14th, you would have to have it on the agenda by the 7th.
Okay.
So that'll.
We just want to table it though?
Well,
Or are we just going to vote it up?
let's just vote no, and that way, if it's the next meeting, great. That way, we don't have to really go until they're ready.
Understand.
We definitely want to work.
Well, thank you.
Don't stress out at that point.
Appreciate it.
All right, any further discussion? Thank you.
Thank you.
Jen?
Commissioner Gandy,
No.
Commissioner White, no, Commissioner Bolt,
No.
Commissioner Tejeda, Mayor Roberts.
No. Somebody besides Mr.
Make a motion for the financial report.
Motion and second to pay the bill.
Pay bills.
Discussion.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, the only thing of note that I would add is on page 6. For Vanguard, $6,462. We were cleaning up some old past due invoices going back to 2022, so that's why it's such a high amount. They do our drug testing.
I have one question on page 4, under master plumbing. Not so much for the amount, just wanting to know what it was for. It said making repairs to, and then somewhere's in Chaparral Park, but I don't know, splash pad, what?
That's probably to that park house.
It was for the Chaparral Park bathroom, they just ready for parking park. A couple kids went in there and tore up the sinks and clogged the urinals and that sort of thing.
So if you replace the sinks, what do you have to do?
I have to go through, make sure everything's working, replace what they need to replace, so that way we have a successful park.
Okay, thank you.
You know, on that note too, whoever's building, is that a Chaparral Park? Or where was that?
Yeah, Sheffield.
I don't know how many times that's been, but.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to where we put a gate on it, almost like Carlsbad.
Yeah.
Put hours in there from, 6 o'clock in the morning until, 7 o'clock at night. That way we can lock it up, no one gets in there and does stuff in the middle of the night. Nobody's-
So there's not a way to put doors on there? Buildings, they can't get in?
There's doors on there. One of them has the old system, that I have to disconnect because, people would go in there, hang out, and then it would automatically lock on them. And we're constantly getting called out by the full batch. So I disabled that, so we kind of eliminate, going out.
Right, because I know with the gate, people were gonna climb gates. I was up there the one day and there was somebody on top of the bathroom roof. So I know a gate's not gonna keep people out.
No.
So we need to do something that's gonna be more foolproof, that people can't get in.
Yeah. Let me dig around some more.
Okay, yeah, because like Commissioner Trio said, you put these places out, and we're doing it for the public, and we want to have nice things, and then we get some people that go in there and just destroy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say why or what, because I have no idea. But it's hard to have nice things if you have somebody going behind you doing that, so I figure that we need to find a way to prevent that completely. That way there we can have nice things and enjoy it, the public, and so, thank you.
Maybe we can, make awareness or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna make one last recommendation. If we ever move them to the road, don't move them away. That was when we did that one, and it was years back. I said, let's put the restroom right next to the road. The road that goes around, that way an officer can come by and lock them real easy, not having to get out of his vehicle, walk all the way over there. And there's too many shadows over there. And I said, man, if we put it right, but they wanted the same spot. It's cost us. It's cost
Also, if
us.
you put it by the road, somebody might run into
They've got liquor sales on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, Shannon.
Commissioner Bolt,
Yes.
Commissioner Gandy,
Yes.
Commissioner White. Yes. Mayor Longstreet.
Yes. And with that, the items of the agenda are exhausted. We are adjourned. Well, certainly. Well, we could all help you.
I'm gonna-